Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and welcome to another Daily Read for Anfield Index. It is Sunday, the 4th of January, which means it is match day at Craven Cottage. Sunday, 3 o'clock, Liverpool will play Fulham away. And I don't really know how you feel about this. I'm not really sure how I feel about this. Do you remember when you always used to look forward to a Liverpool game, thought, whatever it was, even when we were going away to one of the top sides, that it would be an exciting match, there'd be something to see, Maybe it's first world problems, but they just don't carry that much excitement. And one scan over online territory, there's a bit of apprehension about today, isn't there? But we'll talk about the game. We'll talk about the latest news, the latest Liverpool links, everything around the Reds. I'm your host, Dave Davis, coming to you from, it's one of them, the sun is out in Edinburgh, but ice on the ground, absolutely freezing. One of them where, you walk outside and your ears and nose hurt and you can't feel your face after 5 minutes. So fingers crossed, it is a bit nicer in the world, wherever you are. But there is a match today at 3 o'clock. It's not the only game as well, actually. It's quite an array of Christmas time, maybe Super Sundays, one last hurrah for the festive period. But the Reds will start this game in fourth place, 3 points clear of Chelsea in fifth and United in sixth on goal difference, 15 points off Arsenal at the top. And obviously Arne Slot talked yesterday, didn't he, about those two teams predominantly being in a title race. Yeah. Well, we actually want City to win, which is weird to say as well, but a reflection of where we are. Because when you look at the games today, God, we hate Leeds, but we want them to beat United at 12:30. Obviously, there's our game. Nothing really more then, but City, Chelsea at 5:30. I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? The race for the top four, or that fourth spot, as it were. They've all got away games. United at Leeds, us at Fulham, Chelsea, managerless Chelsea at City. I know this is proper weird to say, and I'm not going into today confident or expectant. I have to be honest about that because of the way we've been playing. But if you pick those, you probably would pick, at the moment, Fulham away. Because Leeds are just having a bit of a revival, aren't they? They got, the goalless draw at us. They got a draw at Sunderland as well, which is a hell of a place to go to, or a team to play at the moment. We know. So, yeah. And no one obviously wants to go to City, of course. We know how bad we got beat up there. We'll see. But I know it admits that I'm reaching somewhat. And I see a few trying to be positive with it on the stats here. And who scored when there? Liverpool have had more possession, 61.6%, and created more chances, 230, than any other Premier League team this season. But how much of that possession is side to side along the back? How many of those chances have what you call big chances or a good chance for a player? I think it's the wrong context to be set in there at the same time, isn't it? We know what we're playing at the moment. It is, we have to be honest, zero-sum football. Someone's back to that Sam Maguire article where there's a win probability of about 48% this season. It is a flip of a coin game. The aim being, don't make any mistakes, keep it tight, and just see if a bit of individual brilliance can nick you something. That's where we are at the moment. Manicho there saying it's true. Cannot really remember an easy win at Fulham. Even when we've won there, we seem to have struggled. I mean, last season it was the 3-2, but I'm struggling to count that because we had no right backs at the time, if you remember. Curtis Jones was there that day. And we were on the piss, weren't we? Alexis Mac Allister scored that screamer. God, Giovanni Alexis Mac Allister was good. Happy days, eh? So, yeah. And Jonathan also mentioned in there, might be clutching at straws, but Fulham have got 3 players away at AFCON and a few injuries themselves. Listen, we'll take any look at anything we can get at the moment. That is the situation we are in. In terms of official business and what's being said, Giovanni Leoni, remember him? God, he looked so promising in that Carabao game, didn't he? And he's been doing an interview with a couple of the Italian papers. There are a number of serialized quotes. I think he just comes across really well more than anything from this, from Gazzetto della Sport, sounding like James Richardson on Channel 4 here, aren't I? But as he said, there's never been anything concrete with any Italian club. Sure, when there's interest, you think about it, but there wasn't one team that was closer than the others. I didn't set any goals. I just wanted to see what would happen day to day. And he's obviously asked about the Liverpool players and said, on TV, you wonder what they'll be like. But then you get to know them and you realise they're just normal people. And obviously, we want him back as soon as possible. But as Arne Slot said the other day, it isn't going to be this season, simple as that. And he's talking on his comeback, saying the hardest part is over now. I'm doing rehab, swimming and the gym. For a football injury like this can be the hardest moment of their career. But I want to train my mind to come back stronger than before. I think that's the key. The mind can do most of the work. We talk about quite a bit on that. I like that, training his mind. And he talked about it, about, as soon as he hit the ground, he knew it's his crucial ligament and it was bad, which a lot of us maybe didn't quite think at the time, but it soon became clear. Yeah. It's just a shame because you think of this season, God, we could have used that pace, that physicality, that all-round play. And I know you can't read too much into just one game in the Carabao against Southampton, wasn't it? But there was an awful lot to like about this kid. And you just hope the aim is ultimately, can he be ready for the start of next season? I don't think he will be. I think it'll take a bit of time from there. But yeah, another thing we could use that we haven't got. Speaking of things we couldn't use, and I'm a bit mixed on this. Now, I've sort of read the full articles. I've not seen the interview, but you've probably all clocked Alexis Mac Allister and his recent comments on this, because there's a few stories or a few bits doing around on Alexis Mac Allister. AS, the Spanish paper, had there, didn't he, that he's on a shortlist for Real Madrid this summer for the midfield that includes Vitinha at PSG, Enzo Fernandez at Chelsea, Keith Schmidt at AZ Alkmaar, and him as well. And then it also links, it's that comment, isn't it? Now, it is just one comment from an interview he did for Sky Sports, but it is quite distinct. Many things changed, as I said. New players came in to replace those who left. We changed too many things, but I prefer to keep it to myself. Well, you're not keeping it to yourself, are you? Because you're saying it publicly in an interview that will be serialized, the quotes will be run by all sorts of accounts, etc. So it's absolutely not keeping it to yourself. Now, it's been such a funny one with Alexis Mac Allister this season, hasn't it? Because last season, I said multiple times, the best midfielder in the Premier League, and on his day was world class. Absolutely. We thought, brilliant, what a player. We've got to get him renewed and sorted. Now, if you're being deadly honest, fourth choice out of four, isn't he, really? If all the midfielders are sort of fit, it's been quite clear as well from Arne Slot. He won't have him in that double pivot anymore. It'll push him higher if he has to play him. And when they're all fit, look at the last game, straight on the bench. When he came on, did he do anything? We all know the truth to that. That, again, like him as a player and his peak or his pomp, unbelievable. But it's an old expression, and sometimes I think it's used too much. But whether it's the abductor injury, just the miles on the clock, whatever, it does look like the legs just aren't there for the Premier League anymore at this moment in time. I'm desperately hoping it will change in the latter half of the season. But it's important to say, I think in hope rather than expectation. And I see people talking about, he's missing this and he's missing that, which we'll talk about. But ultimately, is Alexis Mac Allister performing at the moment? No. Could that be because of the abductor issues and injuries? Possibly. But the question then comes to, do you believe Alexis Mac Allister will turn this around? That's the big thing. And do you reckon we'll see a true Macca in the second half of the season? I mean, Jonathan's mentioned there, also read the headlines, but another sign of the squad being unsettled. Doesn't really read well, does it? And that I'd rather just keep it to myself. Probably should have done, in all honesty. Yeah, you can argue he's got a right to speak. I'm not debating that at all. But Now, is it needed with everything that's happened? You can make that debate, can't you? And just a few other quotes from what Mac Allister said in case you missed it. There are not many chances of Liverpool retaining the title. I hate to say it, but it's quite clear. Arsenal is in a really good moment. Manchester City is close, but we are not close in terms of performance or results. So I do not see us becoming champions again. It hurts because this should be a moment we're enjoying the Premier League, which we won, and we should be in a much better place than we are. So it hurts. Many things have changed from last season, and it's not ideal, but that is the situation we are in, and we have to face it and keep working to get better. Yeah, I mean, Arne Slot said it. He said it. It's no real surprise to us, but it still doesn't feel good to hear just how far we are. We know it anyway. It's the reality from the top teams. We are just miles off it in terms of performance, style, physicality, a million and one things, realistically. And super chat there as well. Thank you for sending that in. The quality out of the league outside the top three teams, a couple of other teams, has been poor in terms of style and consistency. Am I sad to say Liverpool have been one of the teams contributing to this outside a handful of games? I think it's important to say, though, Liverpool have been poor for a while. This is not just a new phenomenon. And I know we'll all give them leeway about winning the league and that. But just as that Sam Maguire article pointed out the other day, 2025, 48% win probability. A lot of the games just a flip of a coin that way. But yeah, and Jet Red there saying Mac's agent obviously making noise. I don't think Mac Allister will be renewed. In fact, I think the smart money is, as we've said on the transfer show, Alexis Mac Allister is off this summer. It is probably the right time to cash in. He doesn't sound particularly happy from the interview. He's not playing well. He shouldn't be in the team on form right now. Whether the legs have gone, whether he suffer it, whatever it is, it just seems the natural time to depart ways, doesn't it? Realistically. And even the other day, I mean, you can always read too much into these things, but just being factual, did you see what he put there on his Instagram? Darwin Núñez doing a big thing. Never thought I'd be saying this, but I miss you, bro. Núñez replied, I miss you too. Happy New Year. Again, thinking, why am I showing that? The South American contingent could well be non-existent at Liverpool next season. That's important to say, which I don't like, because I always think you need that South American shithousery in your team, just the fight, the willingness to do whatever it takes. I think it's invaluable, I really do. But there's a real chance, I think, Alexis Mac Allister moves on. And you've seen all the links like I have with Wharton, Anderson, Baleba, others we'll have a bit of a talk about shortly. And they can't renew them all. We know Paul Joyce mentioned to us about Gravenberch. We've heard Romano and others talk to us about Dominic Szoboszlai. And of course, he's the one you need to get tied down. If everyone was hand on heart honest, even the biggest Alexis Mac Allister fans right now as well, would you renew him? You wouldn't, because he'd want a wage increase as well. So he'd want huge money to renew him. And if the legs have slightly gone, if you've got those injury concerns, you look at his age as well, it does make little to no sense right now to renew Alexis Mac Allister. Maybe he's right, and I get it, as people are saying about too many changes, the title-winning team. That's probably a debate for a different day. I get there's real gravitas to that discussion, but we are where we are now. And it just feels like an inevitable parting of the ways come the summer. Let's just hope we see a little bit of the old Mac before that happens. In terms of other stories that you got today, Liverpool closing in on deal for £5.2 million per year defender, Joel Ordóñez. You got the starting 11. Slot was honest there. Liverpool have joined the race for a midfielder. We'll talk about that. And of course, the Alexis Mac Allister bit there about honest with the thoughts. I mean, that's the top featured one, Joel Ordóñez. Now, we know all the noises. They've all been coming from Ecuador, and, that got us excited and thinking it's close, etc. All great. But the UK side has shut it down big time. Paul Joyce has written it. David Lynch has said it. And now even the Mail had this, didn't they, yesterday, saying Liverpool are not pursuing a move for Club Brugge centre-back Joel Ordóñez. The 21-year-old has been linked with a big money move to Liverpool, but a deal is not on the agenda for the hierarchy as it stands. Watched by Liverpool scouts over the recent seasons, but they are looking at other options in the summer. I think it's well known, we've spoken about it 100 times, that Liverpool have watched Joel Ordóñez, one of the players they scouted. Lewis Steele said it, many others. One thing we don't know, and David Lynch alluded to it, is it that they don't really want that many young defenders, as it were, in the squad? We're a bit unsure, aren't we? But they plumped for Leoni ahead of all the others. They looked at that market. We know they tried for Lenny Yoro. We know they tried for Dean Huijsen, but they finally got the one they really wanted in Giovanni Leoni. So, when he comes back, would they want two young project centre-halves there? I'm a bit unsure. But yeah, it seems that we can put, unfortunately, whether you like it or not, a red line through Joel Ordóñez's name for January. Another super chat coming in there, so thank you for that. Players speaking out of turn reflects a repressed unhappiness within the squad about those things. I've heard the captain, Dom, said they've had honest conversations during the losing run, but wonder if they've truly had their say. They're not shy characters. They're big presences, aren't they? Virgil van Dijk, we know Mo Salah's had his say. Alexis Mac Allister saying that. It is right, when players start speaking out, like they have been doing, it signals things. I don't really think it's any secret or any surprise, is it at all either? Things are not right behind the scenes. You can't lose that many games, win, 4 in 15. Arne Slot, I think the smart money as well still says that he goes in the summer. And I get, for anyone jumps on this and says he should go now, I'm not necessarily debating that, but thinking as the powers that be at Liverpool do, they won't want to sack him because he's their appointment. They're still in the Champions League race. They'll say, look, we're 4th place, we're unbeaten in 8. I know about the style of football. It's just trying to look at it how the powers that be view it at the same time. A parting of the ways in the summer makes all the sense in the world. But right now, yeah, I think all these players speaking out are just symptoms of a bigger core problem, aren't they? We'll see if anyone else speaks out at all. In terms of other stories, because, we talked about Alexis Mac Allister departing there, and we talked about Adam Wharton, and I think every man and his dog knows Liverpool would love to get their hands on Adam Wharton for a start to solve their progression issues. The one that's also coming up and was there, it's important to say, report that, I'm not saying this annoys me, but Liverpool have joined the race for 87 million midfielder, and you can see on the screen there, Carlos Baleba. Now, I checked back just to be really accurate on this, but we told you, me and Trev, 4 weeks ago on the transfer show that Liverpool had made an inquiry to Carlos Baleba's team about his availability, not for January, but for the summer. And part of that, our info, which we also said on the show about 4 weeks ago, was that it was related to physicality and Liverpool not being able to sort of knowing really how to solve that problem without recruitment and getting more physical players in. Pretty straightforward, isn't it? So, yeah, Wharton, and I mean, I'd love to get Adam Wharton through the door, but it's always important to remember that with Adam Wharton, that Crystal Palace, and you speak to a few Palace fans, will say, well, we've got to have a Will Hughes with him. We've got to have a Lerma with him, someone physical to do the work that's needed to let him play. So just bringing Adam Wharton through the door doesn't solve all your physical problems, although the argument is there. And if you think back historically with Liverpool, better players negates the need for more physicality. And look back to when they tried to bring, do you remember Martin Zubimendi or many moons ago through the door? Part of that plan was, if we keep possession, if we dominate the ball that way, that will trump the physical nature. The Baleba inquiry, I think, told me that they're a bit unsure about how they solve it, and they may just have got it wrong or be an admittance they got it wrong as well. But there's plenty of Baleba talk around. Indy tweeted this, didn't he, earlier this morning? Carlos Baleba will once again ask Brighton to be reasonable when setting a transfer fee for him. The player still wants to leave. Of course he does. 22 years old. It's prime time. He's had that. As you know, the way Brighton sign players will build you up, you can move on. And we've seen it, haven't we? It ties together with Mac Allister. We tried to get Caicedo. We know how Brighton do this. And I can't remember the name of the Midfield midfielder with the dreadlocks they're signing. That name escapes me if anyone wants to put it in the chat panel. But I guarantee if they sign him, we'll be after him in about 2 years for 90 million or something like that. Really well. Yeah. We won't be alone for Baleba, and even Fabrizio Romano tweeting this morning, Manchester United maintain regular contact with Carlos Baleba's camp since last summer. He's one of the main targets for 2026, but no fresh bid or direct talks with Brighton have took place this month. Blatantly, Baleba's agent is busy at the moment. Of course, he's just keeping everyone in the thoughts. If we do go for Carlos Baleba, it will not be an easy negotiation remotely. I mean, for God's sake, you go into Brighton, you go into Bloom and Barber, absolute masters of the game, known for not setting a value, just waiting for you to make a bid, rejecting it until you get there and not going any further. The one thing that, and I don't know if you say it suits us or it's important to know, Baleba hasn't had a good season. If you watched it, I do think that will count against him for Liverpool's recruitment. And I'm just wondering a little bit if that might have taken him off the list personally, being honest that way. I mean, when you look at some of his FB refs and stats, it's important to say these have all dwindled this season. That's noted by many. But when you look at it, you see that, for instance, his interceptions there, 82nd percentile, aerials, blocks and tackles. When you look at those 12 months ago, they have all dwindled somewhat at the same time as well. It wasn't the shiny green profile. Still, a young player, 22. But then there's the question of what does that do to the price? But also, as I said, the big question, would Liverpool really be in for him anymore? I mean, don't get me wrong. If someone said right now, we'll do Baleba and Wharton as your two midfielders this season, could be doing naked cartwheels on this pod, I'll be honest. But it's a lot of money for two. Alexis Mac Allister might well pay for one of them. We will have to see, won't we, ladies and gents? But the focus should be now, as we come up to midday, around 3 hours till kickoff, this game, isn't it? As I say, I'm not really feeling confident. I'm not really feeling it at all. I go to Anfield every week and Leeds, I was bored. Honestly, it was bad. My hope is a little bit of thinking a bit into San Siro, thinking about Spurs at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Could that just be bits of magic, a bit of luck? You get 3 points and you move on quite quickly. In terms of team news, just in case you missed this, because I see a few going, it'll definitely be this. I just wouldn't be so certain. As Arne Slot said, Joe Gomez might make the bench. I expect Joe to train with us on Friday, and Wata not yet. So Endo won't be with the squad, but Joe Gomez maybe could be on the bench for this. Florian Wirtz, though, just in case you missed this. So if anyone was like, why does he take Florian off, for example, 2 days after the Wolves game? He felt his hamstring still too much. That's why he couldn't train. He only trained on Wednesday. With all games coming up for me, it was too much for risk if you don't have so many players available with the Premier League experience. And of course, Cody Gakpo is a good replacement to bring in. I know when he says that and you're hearing me say that, get your petrol ready, get your lighters, get your matches. I know you want to set fire to your laptop or your screen, but I think it's quite revealing or honest about who will be in the lineup for this game. I really do. So with that news, here's what I'm kind of expecting on that. Of course, it's going to be Alisson in nets, providing they're fit, of course, and obviously providing they're fit, it's Van Dijk and Konate at centre-back. I think you're going to see Milos Kerkez back at left-back. Didn't really do much, Robbo, to be honest, did he? Against Leeds, didn't really offer anything. And in a weird, bizarre way, considering how much stick he's been getting. Almost made people, I think, appreciate Kerkez a little bit more. So I do think Milos Kerkez will be back in. Right back's the big question, because I mean, there was three, wasn't there, at one stage? We saw Bradley and Frimpong on the pitch. I know you're going to argue Frimpong's not a right back. You saw Dominic Szoboszlai move there when Chiesa went right wing. So, but who's starting in this one? I think away from home, you're going to see Connor Bradley at right back today. I think that's your back five. Alisson, Van Dijk, Canate, Kerkez on the left, Connor Bradley there at right back. So, the midfield and the attack. It's quite clear that Alexis Mac Allister is fourth choice when all the midfielders are there. But I think, I'm just wondering, here's what I think will happen anyway, because we could debate this all day. Gravenberch's going to play. Curtis Jones is going to play. Dominic Szoboszlai is going to play. I do think that is going to be the midfield three. I think it'll be telling that you're still going to see Alexis Mac Allister on the bench. That's my prediction. Could be wrong. In the forward line, like it or not, Arne Slot's son, Cody Gakpo, will be on the left. Hugo Ekitike in the middle. And I think you'll see Jeremy Frimpong on the right. I think away, he'll want that. Well, he wants solidity anyway. We're sort of sacrificing the attacking element, but almost the two right-sided players, or want two right backs, whatever you want to call Bradley and Frimpong, with Szoboszlai there to sort of negate that as well. I think you'll see Curtis Jones restored, doing that progression role, which he's done brilliantly, to be fair, recently. There, I think the notable thing to say is, because of what he said about Florian Wirtz. Now, when he came off against Leeds the other night, I know he wasn't playing well. Like, let's just stick that out there. He was not playing well at all. But obviously, we got that revelation, didn't we, about the injuries and how, we're managing him. I just think he's going to be on the bench today. I really do. I think they'll look to use him for the sub, as in make something happen when we're desperate, which we could well be at the same time as well. But that is the lineup. Now, I know what people are saying, and I agree with it. America saying they need to win this before getting battered at the Emirates, because Christ, we go there with so little belief in what will happen, don't we? But scorers for today. I can't get out my head 1-1. 1-1 and Ekitike, and probably a bit of a dull game. That's what Arne Slot will try and do. He'll set up to make it zero-sum football. Don't make a mistake. Don't concede any big chances. And just see if you're, an Ekitike or someone can nick it. So I'm not really looking forward to watching this. What I'm not looking forward to watching is Cody Gakpo getting the ball back on the left, just cutting in, blamming a shot, hitting someone going wide or something like that. But I know that's probably what's going to happen, in all honesty. So yeah, feel free to throw your thoughts in the chat panel if you disagree with that starting lineup, if you think different about the scoreline, others going 2-2 and different comments. But yeah, is there really any belief in a result? Listen, as I'm saying this, you may completely disagree. I'm desperate to have these words rammed down my throat. I'd be desperate for the Reds to win 4-0 or whatever. Make me look a kip. Of course I would. But that's complete hope over the expectation. And Lennon mentioning there, we need to sell Gravenberch this month. What does he actually do? He's not getting much love, I'm noticing, in the chat panel at all. And yet we've been talking Alexis Mac Allister. People talking about set pieces. Yeah, people mentioning this as well. Jonathan, we need to score first before we get or gas out around the 60 to 70 mark. It's funny, isn't it? I can't remember a game for so long where all the Reds that you're speaking to aren't really ecstatic or pumped up for this, or are almost just coming to it with, let's keep minimal expectations and then we can't be disappointed. And people saying that clean sheet is my hope. Probably a better chance than that of scoring maybe after Leeds, but who knows? Let's just hope, everything I'm talking about gets well and truly smashed back down my throat. I want to be wrong so badly. But yeah, just to plan your day, as we say it, there is Leeds United kicking off in about half an hour's time. We're 3 o'clock. The City Chelsea, there's plenty of football on for you today. Let's just hope the Reds deliver something worth watching. We'll see, eh? Sunday, the 4th of January. That was another Daily Red for Anfield Index.